Hello, welcome again to another episode of our live stream, My Journey to Trinity. My name is Hussein. Happy to be with you. Happy you can be with me. Um, Pinky, Pinky is right there. And, oh, sorry. So, anyway, I just want to do like a little short thing tonight about uh, Islamic attestation to the crucifixion. Why this is important is because Muslims don't believe in the crucifixion. They don't believe Jesus was crucified or that he died. When you get into the situation of the Ahmadis are a little different, because they got a different view about it. The Ahmadis tend to lean towards the swoon theory, like Zakir Naik, and I'm not sure if Ahmadi dad was an Ahmadi too. But the Ahmadi crowd, they believe that Jesus was crucified, but that when he was buried, he didn't really die. And so that when he was in the tomb and he smelled the myrrh and the all that, he bing, came back to life. Uh, Absolute preposterous belief, but Zakir Naik believes that. So, but the 99.999999999% of Muslims do not believe Jesus was either crucified or that he died or that he rose again. But there are Islamic sources, scholars, that seem to indicate that yes, he did. And so I just want to look at a couple of those sources, and let's see what was interesting to me. Really kind of sparked my interest to do this is actually not specifically the passage about the crucifixion as much as this. It says, as if I'm looking at the prophet. Now, this was Abdullah talking about Muhammad while he was speaking about one of the prophets whose people have beaten and wounded him, and he was wiping blood off his face, saying, Lord, forgive my people as they do not know. And wow, uh, this is um, very clearly, um, very clearly describing what happened to Jesus. And let's just look at this in the Gospel of Luke. Okay, I got to get this down. But let's look at this again. And as if I'm looking at the prophet while he was speaking about one of the prophets whose people had beaten him and wounded him, and he was wiping the blood off his face, saying, "O Lord, forgive my people, as they do not know." Well, this seems very familiar, and any Christian would automatically know this. Okay, that this is it says right here, and we can look back at the places where they beat Jesus, vehemently accusing him. Okay, and I know it. And right here, we see where Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Now, this is when Jesus is on the cross. Okay, it says, two other men, both criminals, were led out with him to be executed. When they came to the place called the Skull, they crucified him there, along with the criminals, one on his right, one on his left. Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Okay, and look what, one more time, okay, what it says here. It says, while he was speaking about one of the prophets whose people have beaten and wounded him, and he was wiping the blood off his face, saying, O Lord, forgive my people as they do not know. I mean, that it sounds like word for word, Father, forgive them, for they do not know. Exactly, word for word, what it says in Luke. And so that seems to be a strong attestation by an Islamic source. Okay, which source is this? This is Sahih al-Bukhari. Sahih al-Bukhari. Oh Lord, forgive my people as they do not know. Okay, and then there's also this right here. This is Sahih Muslim now. It appeared to me as if I saw the messenger of Allah and heard him relate a story of a prophet who had been beaten by his people and was wiping the blood from his face and saying, My Lord, forgive my people, for they do not know. رب اغفر لقومي فإنهم لا يعلمون. Okay, now this is in Sahih Muslim. Okay, so you have one in Sahih al-Bukhari, one in Sahih Muslim. Okay, and who's Abdullah? On the authority of Abdullah, who said, okay, so it seems like this is exactly what, yes, say tiger, pinky, what does swoon mean? Let me check. To faint, especially from extreme. Yeah, well, this is like Zakir Naik. If you've ever seen Zakir Naik speak about this, he talks about that Jonah, the prophecy about Jonah, where Jonah was in the belly of the fish for 3 days. And Zakir Naik is saying, see, that Jesus said that he was going to be in the belly of the earth like Jonah, because Jonah didn't die. So he's saying that Jesus didn't die and that he went into the tomb, was in there, but then when he smelled the spices and everything, he woke up in the cool of the tomb. And so, yes, it's the swoon theory is actually, I think they made it in Germany. It was actually in Germany that they came up with the swoon theory. And there were lots of people that actually believed it, even in Germany. And but it's scientifically impossible, that would happen. And then you got to imagine, okay, so what they're saying is that Jesus was on the cross, he was crucified, it looked like it was dead, taken down from the cross, but he's still alive. Okay, now the Bible very clearly says that he died. Very clearly, the Bible says that he died. Okay, and we can look here, at the, let's look at Luke here. Oops. Here, Luke 23. And it says, the soldiers came up to him and mocked him, offered him wine vinegar, said, if you're the king of the Jews, save yourself. Okay, and then it was about noon, darkness came over the land until 3 p.m, for the sun stopped shining. Okay, and the curtain of the temple was torn in two. Jesus called out with a loud voice, Father, into your hands commit my spirit. When he said this, he breathed his last. Okay, so there it's saying he breathed his last. That means he died. Okay, and then we can look in we can look in John 19. John 19 is probably the strongest, clearest testimony of his death, because, okay, it says, later, knowing that everything had been done, that scripture would be fulfilled, Jesus said, I am thirsty. A jar of wine was there, so they soaked a sponge in it and put the sponge on a stalk of a hyssop plant and lifted it to Jesus's lips. When he had received the drink, Jesus said, it is finished. With that, he bowed his head and gave up his spirit. Gave up his spirit, meaning he died. Okay. And then there's even a stronger, this is from an eyewitness who was actually there. It was John. Okay. And it says here, the Jewish leaders did not want the bodies left on the crosses during the Sabbath. They asked Pilate to have their legs broken and bodies taken down. The soldiers came, therefore, to break the legs of the first man who was crucified with Jesus, then those of the other. But when they came to Jesus, they found he was already dead. So there you have two attestations that he's dead. These soldiers knew death. These soldiers, that's all they did was kill people. And they knew he was already dead. And they did not break his legs. Instead, one of the soldiers pierced Jesus' side with the spear, bringing forth the flow of blood and water. Okay, that means that the fact that it was blood and water that came out means that the sac around the heart, it's called pericardium or something like that, was pierced, and the water came out. Okay, because when you die, what happens is that the water, the fluid in your body, goes to protect the vital organs, the most vital being the heart. And so this water, the liquid in Jesus' body, was around the heart, protecting the heart. And when they pierced him, that water came out. Okay. And then it says this, it says, the man who saw it has given testimony, and his testimony is true. He knows he tells the truth. And he testifies so that you may believe. Okay. So this was John himself saw this happen. So there you have three attestations in John, proofs that Jesus died. Okay. So anyway, there's no question that he died. And but the swoon theory says he didn't die and he came back to life. But you got to really think about it. If this crazy theory that he was alive, that he came back to life. Well, he didn't really come back to life because he didn't die. He just, woke up, in the tomb. You got to also say, well, if that happened, there was a heavy stone on that tomb. Are you saying that he woke up and with nail marks in his hands and in his feet, that he walked over and rolled that stone away from the inside? You guys, this thing weighs tons. This rock weighs tons. You think he pushed it from the inside with his crucified hands and feet? He pushed that rock out. I mean, how can he open the tomb from the inside? Okay. All of the Gospels, like Mark, Matthew, say that an angel came down and rolled the stone away. But there's, with this swoon theory, you have to say Jesus came and he rolled the stone away and then walked out of there, walked over to where the disciples were, and they said, look, he's risen, and with all of those wounds, with the bleeding and, with the wounds on his head, the wounds on his hands, the wounds on his feet, still, with the blood and everything, and including the spear. So it's an insane theory, but it wasn't the Muslims that came up with that. The swoon theory was actually, we can thank Germany for that. I'm pretty sure that they are the ones that came up with it. Let's see, the swoon hypothesis is any of a number of ideas aimed to explain the resurrection, proposing that he did not die on the cross, but merely fell unconscious, swooned, and was later revived in the tomb. According to proponents of this theory, the appearances of the risen Jesus to disciples following the resurrection are merely perceived to be resurrection appearances. Okay. So I want to see where this actually came from. This and similar theories of the resurrection of Jesus and witnesses to his resurrection became popular in the Western world after the first proposed by some in the 18th and 19th century Western authors and philosophers, including Oscar Wilde and Friedrich Schleiermacher. However, since the last decade of the 19th century, all of them have been discarded as baseless and unacceptable by a majority of biblical scholars. The 200-year hypothesis continues to be the subject of debate in popular circles, and scholarly literature considers it controversial that Jesus died during his crucifixion. Okay, so around 1800, a guy named Carl Venturini proposed that a group of supporters dressed in white who were with Jesus members of a secret society, had not expected him to survive the crucifixion. And third rationalist Heinrich Paulus wrote books on 1802 saying he believed Jesus had fallen into a temporary coma. Okay. And then Friedrich Schleiermacher, the name like that can understand what, no, I'm just kidding. Okay, and then you got Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, the founder of the Ahmadiyya Muslim movement, proposed a hypothesis in his book, 1899, Jesus in India, that Jesus traveled to India after surviving the crucifixion. And, you know, Zakir Naik is an Ahmadi. So this fits with what he believes. These are some of the folks that kind of are pushing this crazy idea. Raymond Bernard, Aziz Kashmiri, Donovan. I'm trying to see if there's anybody that we would know. Paul Pappas, J.D.M. Derritt, Fida Muhammad Hassanein. Okay, Abu Bakr. Okay, it's mostly Muslims that are still holding on to this crazy theory, and but yeah, especially Zakir Naik. Hello, cheeky shaky. God bless you. And so anyway, but it's been pretty much disposed of, this theory, but that doesn't mean Zakir Naik doesn't believe it. Okay, so and I'm wondering, was Ahmed Deedat, was he a Ahmadi? Okay, Ahmed Deedat, a self-taught Muslim thinker on comparative religion, he's best known as a Muslim missionary. Okay, a Muslim, a Gujarati Muslim parents. Okay. 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 It doesn't say anything about him being an Ahmadi. Okay. He spent the last 9 years of his life in a bed at his home in South Africa, looked after by his wife, Hawa Deedat, encouraging people to engage in da'wah. Okay, he died on August 8th, 2005. And I believe he got saved before he died. I know lots of people don't agree with me, but before he died, he asked for a particular book to be put on his chest, and it was the book More Than a Carpenter by Josh McDowell. You know, but there was a lot of controversy about him. His center was financed by the Bin Laden family that he liked. He described positively. Some of his writings are apologetics through polemics. Dad's multitude of anti-Christian, anti-Jewish, and anti-Hindu videotapes have told us all that what there is to be told. Okay. All right. Yeah, but I don't see that he is more than a carpenter. Hey, Elias. Here's you guys. Elias is a very brave Muslim. You guys. I just want to tell you, Elias is an extremely brave Muslim. And so he's going to come on with me right now. And please, people, do not say that Elias is afraid to come up here and debate me. Please don't say that, because it's not true. Elias is very brave. Elias is very brave, and he's going to accept. There's the link, Elias. Come up and prove everybody wrong. You know, all the people who think that you're just a wimp, all the people who think you're a chicken, that you're scared, you know, come up right now and prove them wrong. Be brave like your prophet. Yes. Remember how brave Muhammad was, especially when he had to flee from Mecca to go to Medina. Remember how brave he was? It was amazing when he did that hijrah, you know, because you know what he did? I don't know if you know this, Ilyas, but what Muhammad did is he knew people were going to come looking for him, but he was afraid that they would try to kill him. So he asked a little boy named Ali to sleep in his bed and pretend to be him while he fled to Medina. So awesome move by Muhammad there. He fled to safety, but he left the boy in his bed to where people would think that boy was Muhammad, and they may have killed that little boy thinking he was Muhammad. Yeah. So, you know, Muhammad was so brave. So, you know, Elias, you should be brave like your prophet and come on. So, anyway, you guys, let me just again show you this passage. This is Abdullah is reciting this. He says, as if I'm looking at the prophet while he was speaking about one of the prophets whose people had beaten and wounded him. And he was wiping the blood off of his face and saying, O Lord, forgive my people as they do not know. Forgive my people as they do not know. You know, this is what Muhammad said. And then like I showed you in Luke, you know, 23, just to show you where Muhammad got that from. Okay. It says that when Jesus was crucified, verse 34, Jesus said, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. And he was beaten and crucified. Okay. So there you have it. You know, this particular hadith is very clearly describing what Jesus said. So I don't want to say that Muhammad, you know, stole that from the Bible, but it sounds a lot like the Bible. It sounds a lot like Jesus. He was beaten, he was bleeding, and then he says, God, forgive them, Lord, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. How could it be? How could it be anything but theft? I mean, plagiarism. I mean, that he heard it from, you know, a Christian, and we know Muhammad was an ear, and he would just hear something and then put it in the Quran next week. So, Elias, be brave, my friend. Everybody, look at all the nice things everybody's saying about you, Elias. Look, Elias, be brave like your prophet, and he even spelled prophet right. And then Elias is very brave, Allah's defender. Elias is very brave, Allah's defender. How brave of the great prophet. Yeah. Prophet using his kid. You know what? Runs what's it's a I mean, this is a real story where Muhammad used a kid named Ali. Okay, so Muhammad one, you know what? I ought to look it up and see if I could show it to you, because a story like that is definitely worth delving into. Um, let's see, Sunnah. Um, let's see if I can find it. Um, okay. Um, uh, where is it? Shoot. Um, yeah, I'm having a hard time finding it, you guys. I don't know if I have it in. Let me just 1 second. Alrighty. Okay. Okay. Here, let me show it to you. This is the. Yes, don't be scared, my friend. Be brave. Come on. You know, Emmanuel. Emmanuel, be nice. Elias is very brave. He's going to come on today. Don't say things that make it look like he's not brave. He's very brave, and today's different. So here's your heroic prophet. Okay. Muhammad himself then. Okay, let's read this. In the pilgrimage season 622, Muhammad had a meeting with Aqaba and the Medinian converts. This time there were 75, including 2 women. Muhammad's uncle, Al-Abbas, who accompanied them, made a speech at the beginning, declaring Muhammad was the most respected person of his kinsmen. This is quite in contrast to the fact that Muhammad had received strong opposition from his other uncle, Abu Lahab, as well as Abu Jahl and other Qurayshi leaders. Al-Abbas also falsely stated that Muhammad had rejected offers from all the men of Medina in an apparent attempt to create a sense of exclusivity and importance. Historical records, however, show that there were among the last groups Muhammad had tried to approach, and he had no other offers available. Muhammad himself then spoke and invited their allegiance, asking them to protect him as they would their women and children. So Muhammad is asking people to protect him like they protect their women and children. One of them, Al-Bara, readily agreed, emphasizing military prowess of his people. The other, however, Abu al-Haytham, expressed concern that if they took the pledge and severed their ties with the Jews, Muhammad would return to his people after they gave him victories. Okay, shoot. You know what? I read all of this. Okay, this is the migration. Not long after that, okay, Muhammad instructed his Meccan followers to relocate to Medina. The whole departure spanned about 3 months. To ensure that he did not arrive in Medina alone while his followers remained in Mecca, Muhammad chose not to go ahead and instead stayed behind to watch over them and persuade those who were reluctant. Some of the Quraysh tried to dissuade their family members from leaving, but in the end, there were no Muslims left in Mecca. Muhammad regarded this migration as an expulsion by the Quraysh. Islamic tradition relates that in light of unfolding events, one of the Qurayshi chiefs, Abu Jahl, Muhammad's childhood friend turned enemy, proposed a joint assassination of Muhammad by representatives of the Quraysh clan. Having been informed of this by the angel Gabriel, Muhammad asked his cousin Ali to lie on his bed covered with his green Hadrami cloak, assuring him that it would be safe. Muhammad then went with Abu Bakr to a cave in Mount Thawr, about an hour's walk south of Mecca, and hid there. Abu Bakr's children and servants were still in Mecca, regularly brought them food. After 3 days of hiding out, they went to Medina. So, he told Ali, who was a kid, you stay in the bed to where when they come looking for me, they see you. And they may end up, killing you because they're trying to assassinate me, but I'll be in a cave, okay? And beautiful story. But there's similar. Muhammad also tried to foist this story onto Jesus. He tried to foist this story onto Jesus. How? If you look at Ibn Kathir's explanation of what happened when they came to arrest Jesus, according to Ibn Kathir, Jesus said to his disciples, hey, Allah's going to take me up to heaven because he doesn't want me to suffer and to suffer the pain of crucifixion. But one of you needs to do it for me in my place. So who volunteers to be crucified for me? And all of the guys said, no thanks. But one little kid does. He raises his hand, and then Isa, not Jesus, but Isa says, no, you're too young. Sit down. But then Isa asks again. He says, now which one of you want to die for me? And you're going to go straight to paradise when you die. They said, no, thanks. And then he said, but the kid raised his hand. And then finally Isa says, okay. And boom, he made the kid look like him. And he went up through a hole in the roof. And then, and this kid was crucified in Jesus' place, or Isa's place, according to Ibn Kathir. And so it's a crazy story, but that is what Muhammad did to Ali. He made Ali stay in his bed so that people would come mistake that kid for Muhammad and possibly kill him, and so there you have it, you guys. Muhammad did that, and then he said that Jesus did that. So anyway, guys, that's what I wanted to show you. Oh, let me show you one other thing here. There's another verse. I was wanting to show you Quranic attestations about the resurrection, the death and resurrection of Christ. Now, if you look at the word Surah 355 in the Quran, it says, Allah says to Isa, I made you to die and raised you up to myself. Well, let me see. Okay, let's start here. Mutawafika, okay. meaning he will cause you to die. This was narrated on the authority of Ibn Abbas and Muhammad bin Ishaq. They said the intended meaning was that his enemies from the Jews would not be able to kill him. Then after that, he honored him by raising him to heaven. He said, I will cause you to die. So this is saying, Ibn Abbas is saying that he died. Since we're here, we can go ahead and actually look at that, because I know where we can see Ibn Abbas. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see what Ibn Abbas says. Here's Tafsir Ibn Abbas on 355. Okay, remember Allah said to Jesus, I am gathering you and causing you to ascend to me. Okay, those who follow. Okay, now this is Ibn Abbas, but that's not saying the same thing as the other one was. A lot of these have been sanitized to fit into Islamic doctrine. So you're not really going to find the what they originally said, like they said it in Arabic. So, but anyway, here Ibn Abbas is saying, that mutawafiq is I will cause you to die. Very, which is what it means. Now, Wahab, now this is a Islamic scholar, said he died for 3 hours. Then he was raised. So he's saying, Wahab is saying that Jesus did die and then was raised up. And he died for 3 hours. The second, Muhammad ibn Ishaq, said he died for 7 hours. Then God revived him and raised him. The third, Rabbi ibn Anas, said God Almighty took him when he raised him to heaven. Okay, but look at this. Ibn Ishaq, Muhammad ibn Ishaq said he died for 7 hours. Wahab said he died for 3 hours. Now, Muslims don't believe he died, but these guys did. Why? Because that's what the word says. Inni mutawafiq, I made you to die. So, yeah. When God said, Jesus, I will take you, Inni mutawafiq, Ibn Qutaydah said, tawafi comes from the completion of a number. It is said, I died, and I was completed, just as it is said, I was certain of the news. I was certain of it. Then death is called death, and he died, as Abu Ubaidah recited. So, the thing that most interesting to me was that Ibn Ishaq said, Muhammad ibn Ishaq said that Jesus died for 7 hours. That's interesting. So, all right. Well, God bless you, Tiger. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit. And that's all I really wanted to show you guys today. And so I appreciate you hanging out with me for a little bit. And oh, you know what? Since we are doing this about the crucifixion and we read the passage about Jesus taking the vinegar, I'd like to end this with a song I wrote, one of my songs. Let me see if I can get it here. Okay, my videos. The song is called Vinegar. Okay, and because we read about the vinegar, so I'll go ahead and play this. Just like a stream, your blood from your veins, it flowed into my deeds to awaken my stillborn soul, just like a glass, just like a glass that spilled forth wine. Your life was yours, death. Through death you made it mine. And when you called for water. We put a sponge on a stick, dipped it in a flask, and raised it to your lips. With vinegar. With vinegar. This is the world we are in, how we chose to live. Nails, scars, and pointing all we have to give. And if there should be those who feel that deep thirst, all this world has to give to them is what it gave to him first. It's vinegar. It's vinegar. The world's sour wine. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. You haven't done it, please do it now. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. Jesus, help me. Jesus, forgive me. Jesus, come into my heart. يسوع ساعدني. يسوع سامحني. يسوع ادخل قلبي. We love you, but more importantly, he loves you. Aron May, my friend, I'm going to take off right now. So maybe come back tomorrow or the day, another day. So, all right, you guys. 10:15. Yeah. Okay. How you doing, Harom May?
I'm sure I'm fine, sir. I'm good. Sorry
Yes.
for being late. Today I was very busy on my class. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay. That's all right. So, what have you been up to?
I'm sorry I was on my class.
Oh, yeah. What kind of class?
I mean, it's class of electronics. I mean, it's a paper of physics.
What kind of class? Oh, electronics? I didn't
It's a
understand what you said.
it's a paper of physics. I mean,
Oh, physics.
a
Wow.
bachelor degree. One of the paper.
Wow. That's awesome. That's very over my head. So that's very
No,
good.
it's easy. I mean, if you if
You
you
know
if
anything?
you if you learn Nikola Tesla, you will understand for science very easily.
Do you know anything about quantum physics?
Yeah, it's called quantum physics and quantum mechanics. It's also known as quantum mechanics.
Oh, okay.
It's on a simple single sentence. It's called the superposition of probability amplitude.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's try to define the exact pinpoint location of electrons in
Okay.
any place.
Wow.
It's
That's,
not a it's not an absolute.
you know what? My your mom is asking if you've been reading the Gospels.
Yeah, I was reading the Gospels, but
Which
but
one?
I'm John and Matthew.
You read both of them?
Yeah, I'm trying to read both of them. I mean, they are using very old kind of English. I mean, not modern English. I mean, simple. They're very more twisted type of English.
You know
And
what? You don't have to read those old versions. You can read the new ones. There's lots of really much easier versions. The best one to read, according to your mom, very highly regarded sources here, is the LSB. It's called LSB, Legacy Standard Bible. And
okay, like this standard Bible. Okay.
yeah, because we're going to give you a test on this. So next time you come on, you better you better study this so that you pass the test. Okay,
Hmm.
you hear us? Here is
After passing the test, I will be a what kind of like a pastor or pope kind of thing.
yes. Well, I don't know. I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, boy. Yeah, yeah. I really hope that you will pass the test and become a pastor, Lord Jesus. But first you have to become a Christian. First become a Christian, then we'll talk about becoming a pastor. Okay, and uh, and if
Okay,
you
no
read the
problem.
gospel, you read the gospels, that'll help you. Okay, you say something? Come, come, say something. It's much more impactful when you say it. So no, come on,
Do you know
no.
something that in US Defense Force, I mean US Army, Navy, Air Force, there are some kind of religious teacher, not teacher. It's kind of uh, like a small father, kind of father pastor who give the soldiers the
Yeah,
religious
the
motivation.
chaplain. Yeah, the
Chaplain.
chaplain.
Yes. Same here on in Indian Defense Force or in Israel Defense Force. They have Muslims. What is it? Muslim mullah. They have a Christian pastor, and they
Huh?
have a Jews also, Parsi and Hindu also.
Okay. Well, that's yeah, we have that here. It's called the chaplain. I've tried to do that. That'd be a great job to have.
Uh,
So
but, to get that job, you have to also pass an exam on government level. Only then you will have
okay, I
the
wanna
position.
I wanna ask you to read something. Okay. This right here is called it's Matthew 5, 6, and 7. It's in the
I mean,
Gospel
what
of
is the meaning
Matthew,
of it?
chapter 5, 6, and 7.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
It's called the Sermon on the Mount. Will you read it?
I will read. I will read it
Okay.
on
In fact, I
internet.
will go ahead and get I will go ahead and send you the link so that okay, okay, so that you here,
Do you have the link now?
okay, yes, I do. I'll send it to you. Here's the link. So, paste. Here's the link, Matthew 5, 6, and 7. And you take that and you read it, and you're going to have a test next time you come on. Okay. So you better learn it. Okay.
Hold on, you have gave me two links. I mean both of them, or I have to go just for one?
No. Just go with this one. Okay.
Okay, LSB. Okay, the last one is version equal to LSB.
Yeah, the other one was LSB too, but it was a different chapter. This one is this was Matthew 5, 6, and 7. So if you open this, it'll take you to Matthew 5, 6, and 7, and then we'll have a test for you next time you come on. Okay.
Okay. I will prepare for it.
Okay, sounds good. All right, you guys. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream tonight. So thanks, Haron May, for coming on for a second. And thank you, everybody else, for being with us. You have a blessed night. And we'll hope to see you hopefully tomorrow. God bless you guys. Oh, wait a minute. Tomorrow? No, I'm not sure it's going to work tomorrow, but maybe the day after. All right. Have a great night, you guys. Thanks.
If you have ever wondered why dull apologists lie so much, it's because on a rare occasion that they tell the truth, this happens.
One of the reasons I accepted Islam was the scientific miracles. I'll be honest with you. And now we know that this whole scientific miracles was absolute nonsense.
You're going to have to repeat that.
That the standard narrative has holes in it. That's what I'm going to say.